The dramatic melting of the world's mountain glaciers, from the Alps to the Himalayas, is mostly the result of man-made global warming rather than natural variability in the climate. An assessment of about 200,000 glaciers in the world, some of which have been monitored since the mid-19th century, has found that about two-thirds of the current rate of glacial melting is due to human influences on the climate. Since 1990, humans have been the primary cause of melting glaciers worldwide, says a study at Thursday in the journal Science. A separate paper published this week by the Chinese Academy of Science reported that glaciers in Tibet were at their warmest in the past 2,000 years. The world's glaciers have been steadily melting since the mid-1800s, but before 1990, most of the melting, about 70%, had been due to natural causes. Glaciers in North America and the Alps seem to be more prone to human-caused melt than others around the world. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, in the last 100 years, the sea level has risen about 6 to 8 inches. Antarctica is covered of about 2,133 meters of ice. If all that ice melted, the ocean could rise about 200 feet. It will not happen in the near future because, according to the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, estimated in the report that the oceans could rise 90 centimeters by the year 2100. This could have a profound effect on coastal cities and islands. There are already people and places affected by the melting. If no action is taken, lots of people will lose their homes in the near future.
There is another extreme case of melting, but isn't at the poles. It's right at the equator in Africa. Richard Taylor of the University College of London Department of Geography concludes that this change in air temperature in the Riversary Mountains that are causing the glacier to reduce are leading mosquitoes to live in areas that they couldn't live because the environment. He also says that these mountains are natural barriers between neighboring tribes that couldn't sleep and kill each other if they weren't separated by these mountain caps like they have been for generations. Significant glacier melting in Antarctic, Himalaya, and Alpine regions could produce another metering of sea levels around 2020 if greenhouse gas emissions keep rising. The Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets could one day melt completely, bringing 7m and 60m rises respectively. There is another extreme case of melting, but isn't at the poles. It's right at the equator in Africa. Richard Taylor of the University College of London Department of Geography concludes that this change in air temperature in the Riversary Mountains that are causing the glacier to reduce are leading mosquitoes to live in areas that they couldn't live because the environment. He also says that these mountains are natural barriers between neighboring tribes that couldn't sleep and kill each other if they weren't separated by these mountain caps like they have been for generations. Significant glacier melting in Antarctic, Himalaya, and Alpine regions could produce another metering of sea levels around 2020 if greenhouse gas emissions keep rising in Greenland, and Antarctic ice sheets could one day melt completely, bringing 7 m and 60 m rises respectively. There is another extreme case of melting, but isn't at the poles. It's right at the equator in Africa. Richard Taylor of the University College of London Department of Geography concludes that this change in air temperature in the Riversbury Mountains that are causing the glacier to reduce are leading mosquitoes to live in areas that they couldn't live because the environment. He also says that these mountains are naturally buried between neighboring tribes that couldn't slay and kill each other if they weren't separated by these mountain caps like they have been for generations. Significant glacier melting in Antarctic, Himalaya, and Alpine regions could produce another metering of sea levels around 2020 if greenhouse gas emissions keep rising in Greenland, and Antarctic ice sheets could one day melt completely, bringing 7 m and 60 m rises respectively.
Solution. A solution will be that the car companies make cars that work with sunlight or other source of energy that won't damage the environment. This will reduce the carbon dioxide released by them. Another one will be that factories stop releasing carbon dioxide. Also, people could stop getting energy by burning coal and wood and replace it with solar energy.
For our hands-on solution, we have emailed many car companies. We propose that they should make ozone-friendly cars by making them function with solar or other type of energy. It may seem small, but if more and more people do this, they will have to eventually make them. So, what will you do? Will you help us? Or just ignore the fact that our home is getting worse and worse every day and do anything about it? It's your decision.